Hey, can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
As she said, my stage name is Emanuel. I'm a spoken word artist, but what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to tell you a story. I have a couple pieces that I'm going to do. It's 3 in total. So some of it is fiction, some of it is true. I'll let you guys be the judge of what you want to believe. The perfect family. Imagine that. That's one dad, one mom, one son, one daughter, no dog but a pet parrot named Coco. And I'm kind of embarrassed to admit it, but let's face it, if it wasn't for that one time I forgot him in the basement, he probably would have lived a little longer, but that's a little besides the point. Just imagine that. A family that loves each other. And not only do they love each other, but they love each other. Like, as in, if there's only enough food for 2, then it's you kids need to sit down and eat that so you could grow strong. And then 2 little kids looking at the parents like, that's so wrong, because if we eat this, then what do you eat? Shit. And when the parents try to fight back, the kids say, no, if you don't eat, then we don't eat. My stomach's going on strike. That means 2 whole meals for 2 people becomes 4 half meals for 4 people, and we deal with it. That kind of love. Or what about, for God so loved the earth that he gave his only begotten son to be crucified kind of love? And no, there are no holes in my hands, but holding my hand across the street wasn't only about teaching me street crossing etiquette, but my parents' way of saying that if a car comes this way too fast, they're the ones getting hit. That kind of love. Now, imagine this. There's 2 kids anxious in the living room every night for their father to come home from work. The son sits down and he's calm and collected, acting like it's nothing. And the daughter's also on the couch, only she's jumping. Stop doing that. It's kind of hard to watch TV when the couch is moving. Well, then why don't you just get off of the couch, stupid? Enough! Mom yells from the kitchen and then silence. But at about 7:58 and 30-something seconds, it's the moment that they've all been waiting for. Mom comes out of the kitchen to see the kids lined up across the door, and then it's 5. The mom raises her hand. 4, we get down in the racist stance. 3, she looks at me, I look at her. 2, we look at the door. Then 1, the door now twists. Mom flicks her hand down like a race car, and then we start jetting to the door faster than NASCAR's moving like track stars. I'm Usain Bolt and she's Flojo, moving so fast that everything else looks like it's moving in slow-mo. And he stands there with his arms open in a suit the same color of coal, and we squeeze him like we're trying to turn it into diamonds. Imagine that. And that's kind of what the family is like, you know. It's
Let's go.
That's how much.
Let's go.
Love there.
Swag.
Except, so then, you know, one time it turns out a little different. Where it's 5, mom comes out the kitchen and raises her hand. 4, the kids get down in the racist stance. 3, she looks at me, I look at her. 2, we look at the door, and then 1, and nothing. The door doesn't twist. Mom doesn't flick her wrist. There's no running towards the door like NASCARs. There are no track stars. It's nothing. And what feels like seconds starts to feel like minutes, and what actually is minutes starts to turn into hours, turns to days, turns to weeks, until finally the sun feels like, for 6 years, I admired you. From the very moment I was able to open my eyes on, every time I laid eyes on you, I admired you like it was my first time eyeing you. I thought you were Superman. To the point that when you weren't home, I looked at the window at the off chance that I might catch you flying through. I even went as far as sneaking in your room and looking through your drawers to see where your cape was hiding too, and then you left. But not only did you leave, but you took. At 5, you took that little twinkle out of your daughter's eyes, and at 6, you took away my innocence, and since then, I can't even trust no more. I mean, if I can't trust the very man who birthed me, then why must I think that anyone else can be trustworthy? And part of me, but it's getting, and I'm sorry, it's getting me a little mad, but part of me, I can hardly look in the mirror anymore because I look just like you. You're everything I don't want to be as a man, but I look just like you. I wonder what my mom thinks when she sees me, because I look just like you. And sometimes when I look at her, I just want to scream, why couldn't I look just like you? I try to be all the man that my mama needs, but I look just like you, so I gotta let mama breathe and actions speak louder than words. I know, but please believe me, I love you way more than you'll ever see. You see, to me, you are invincible, untouchable, and 300 Claire Huxtables couldn't match up to how fierce you are. Me and Kim been used to calling you mommy since youngins, and we could chalk it up to a habit that never got corrected, or I could say I call you mommy because after 3 jobs work you to death every night, somehow every morning you're resurrected. I'm your son. And you, my earth, and for what it's worth, and for the record, they say it doesn't exist, but I believe in you. I found perfection, and I love you. And I really do. I love my mother. She's
Let's go.
Most important women in my life. She's one of the 2 most important women in my life. But I can't. The story, isn't complete without me telling you about the second, which is my sister, who's actually sitting here in the crowd right here. For this one though, for this last poem, I'm gonna need your crowd participation. Every time I say you go, every time I raise my hand, I need you guys to say you go, girl. All right, it's just as simple as that. Whenever I raise my hand, you say you go, girl. Anytime throughout the poem, don't forget because I might surprise you, but I need you to do it. All right. So can we just practice real quick?
You go, girl.
All right, there we go. Jazz, tap dance, hip hop, lyrical, all since a toddler.
You go, girl.
Track 200, 400 hurdles. In other words, a monster.
You go, girl.
Photography, 3D, art to the ceiling. What haven't you conquered?
You go, girl.
Back in the days when we were young, we're not kids anymore. But sometimes I sit and reminisce on how we used to ignore mama's warnings and stay quiet because at 10 and 11, we weren't exactly allowed to stay home alone. But at 10 and 11, we were damn near grown. And so remote controllers were thrown across the room along with VHS cassettes and whatever else we could get our hands on. You see, we'd rather turn the house into WrestleMania before we got along with each other. See, I was as much of your rival as I was your brother, but except for that one time damn near every single day when we sit down together to watch Power Rangers, Men in Black, Wild Wild West, The Mask, Lion King, or all 5 of them, because we really, really, really like those movies. But you see, it was tough love, and plus I knew if you could go blow for blow with someone almost 2 years older than you, then you'd be like a young Cash Clay to your classmates. And I remember it's kind of ironic how you used to wish that your hair would be Pocahontas long, but the older you got, the shorter it got, and now it's in that short hairdo that you love to wear so much you dare to be different, and the world loves you for it.
You go, girl.
From your hairstyle to your style of dress, your piercings, your tattoos, I'm not mad at you, even though mommy kind of is, but don't worry, she'll get over it. Don't worry, she'll get over it. And speaking of getting over things, it hasn't exactly been too easy for you and me growing up without a father and all of that, but those few heated arguments that we had with mom only brought us closer. See, you're a gun and I'm your holster, there to hold you down in any way, anytime you need it. So let me repeat it: jazz, tap dance, hip hop, lyrical, all since a toddler.
You go, girl.
Track 200, 400 hurdles. In other words, a monster.
You go, girl.
Photography, 3D, art to the ceiling. What haven't you conquered?
You go, girl.
And I'm there when you need me. I promise. Wherever
you go, girl.
Thank you.
Let's go!